Hey there, whoever's watching. My name is Richard Gutierrez, and today I will be presenting on longboarding. It is easily one of the best forms of transportation. Longboards especially are used for cruising and getting around places, while normal skateboards are usually made for doing tricks like ollies or kickflips. So back in the day, skaters were actually called sidewalk surfers because they would, you can pretty much guess, they were used to be surfer guys that just didn't like when there wasn't any waves, so they ended up building skateboards so they can just surf on the sidewalks. That's pretty great. So the thing with skateboarding is that there's a lot of physics that has to happen in order for a piece of wood with four wheels to even move. For the most part, when you longboard, you just cruise, but you're always on a lookout for a nice hill. Turn to the next slide. Normally, when you skate, you have one force propelling you forward, which would be your feet pushing off the ground. Thanks to static friction, when you kick off the ground, your foot stays in place, causing your foot to exert a force on the ground, which then makes the ground push on you, causing you to move forward. Just like Newton's third law. Yeah. Turn to the next slide. For the most part, force of friction is caused by the normal force and by the static coefficient, which is different for different materials, like you see on the figure to the right. Turn to the next slide. The rougher the two objects, the more frictional force that will be applied. This is why on top of boards there is a grip tape in order to make sure that people don't slip off the board. Turn to the next slide. The best places to go longboarding are on hills while going down. You pick up so much speed. These hills, or inclined planes, seem to get you to pick up more speed than a nice horizontal flat road. This is because on inclined planes, gravity is doing work for you. This causes your speed to increase because now instead of being just a force on the vertical axis, gravity is a force on the horizontal axis as well. As you can see on the figure to the right, gravity is applied to both the x and the y directions of force, like Fy equals normal minus mg cosine theta, while on the x-axis f of x equals mg sine theta minus the force of the friction. Turn to the next slide. Now, something that I just recently learned is this technique called pumping. So by firmly planting your feet on the board and rotating your body back and forth, you cause your board to pick up some speed. You create angular momentum going both up and down the board with a tangential force. It adds a tangential force to the board because of all the rotation going on with your body. So it technically pushes the board forward, and so there is a force pushing the board forward. Therefore, your feet, there's a force pushing the board forward, so you can use this to your advantage, and your feet never have to touch the ground in order to move forward ever again. Here's a video of my friend doing this action.